Dear Hai and her Nai. To this day, I have not been able to forget the moments of happiness that I experienced at that time. It is a very old story. In the waiting room of Multan railway station, as soon as I raised my hands to pray after morning prayers, a burqa-clad girl entered the room. I jumped after praying and answered her words, left without leaving the room. I was very worried because of the rotation days. Due to the land dispute, the opponents were determined to kill me. I thought in my heart that maybe they had put the woman behind me to trap me in a roundabout way, because at 12 o'clock in the night, the vehicle that I had boarded from Sahiwal, my opponents were also going to board the same vehicle. They reached the station. On the platform, I was sitting on the bench. They sat on the nearby bench. The car came, but I remained seated. I thought that when they sit in a coach, then I will board in another coach. But their ideas were not good. They wanted to board in my coach. When the car whistled, I ran across the line and ran to the other side of the car and sat in the compartment near the engine. They were not going to leave me easily either. So I went to the restroom. They did not find me here and got into another coach. The car started. When I reached Multan at 4 in the morning, my opponents occupied both the doors leading out of the platform, but I escaped from their sight and entered the waiting room. I reached and finished the prayer when this girl disturbed me. My land allotment was cancelled by the district ruler and I was made to suffer just to raise my family. Against this, I had to file an appeal in Multan. My opponents wanted to divert me from my path at any cost. I was alone. There was no one to help me except Allah. Only the prayers of my parents were involved. Meanwhile, thousands of appeals were being heard in the Commissioner's Court in Multan. For years, the turn of hearing did not come. I went to Multan to take history. The girl was also badly disturbed by her opponents in the land allotment round and came inside to ask me for the address of the commissioner's office and to seek guidance. When I ran out, she too was alarmed, came out. I asked her sternly, "What do you mean by coming to the male waiting room like this?" She said very reluctantly in a very low voice, Yes, I just wanted to ask you one thing. It was known that Hawass and Chavi were not supporting him. When I saw his condition, I encouraged him and said, Yes, say what you want to say. On this, he narrated the whole story of the cancellation of the allotment of land and the jurostem of the opponents. When I had heard the whole story, I said that both you and I are victims of injustice. Rest assured, God is late, not dark. We left for the commissioner's office. It was not an easy task to find a match there. Then the girl said that my mother's last jewel has been sold, out of which I have only 50 rupees. After that, we have food. Nothing will happen. My financial situation was also similar, but my heart was testifying that the time of averting the day of trouble is near. Our ideals were met. Now a lawyer was needed to hear the case, but we didn't have money to hire a lawyer. Before the agreement, my case was heard. The authorized officer was very fair. He listened carefully to my every point and gave the decision in my favor. I was happy to get justice, but at the same time, I thought of hearing another case. I was heartbroken, so when the hearing of the second case started, I wanted to explain the same case. The girl's opponents objected to this, that they are neither lawyers nor plaintiffs. In what capacity are they speaking? When the authorized officer asked, I told them that people who are oppressed by the injustices of the society have to pay the lawyer's fees. The plaintiff and her daughter are in court. As a mother's son, may I be allowed to speak on their behalf? The authorized officer gave permission on this. The matter was short. The opponent's lawyer could not convince the court despite giving great legal arguments in an hour's speech, and the court gave a decision in favor of the mother and daughter. When we left the courtroom, 2 thick tears fell at my feet. I felt that both mother and daughter were crying. She hugged me with emotion. The mother was kissing my forehead. The daughter was clinging to my arm. She was looking at me with grateful eyes when a young man from a group hostile to his side came to us and asked for a land contract. He offered 2,500 rupees. He also said that possession, etc. Let us know our work. You take the money and write the receipt. We took the contract amount at the same time and wrote the receipt. I went home and told my parents I wanted to share the good news, so I took their permission and returned home. To this day, I have not been able to forget the moments of happiness that I experienced at that time.